who is in the lead for President 2021. U.S. Presidential Poll Tracker, Biden leads Trump nationally. 10-day average for national voting intention polling, %. Trump and Biden clash in debates. Donald Trump and Joe Biden faced each other in the first presidential debate in September. In a bad-tempered and at times chaotic debate, the candidates ripped chunks out of each other on their records and issues such as the economy and race. Mr. Trump was rebuked several times by Chris Wallace, the moderator, for speaking over his opponent. At one point, after incessant interruptions from the president, Mr. Biden said, "Will you shut up, man?" Tempers were much more controlled at the second debate in Nashville, in which insults flew but neither candidate could land a killer blow. The pair had their microphones turned off at the final presidential debate on Thursday, 22nd of October, to stop them talking over each other. The Commission on Presidential Debates, CPD, has announced that it would enforce 2 minutes of uninterrupted speaking time for each candidate per topic after the first debate between rivals became a farce. Read more: who won the second debate? Presidential debates are a political version of gladiatorial combat, and they have, in the past, turned elections. 4 years ago the polls showed it was reasonably close between Mr. Trump and Hillary Clinton, with neither delivering a knockout blow. Meanwhile, both Mr. Trump's and Mr. Biden's running mates, Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris, clashed in their own vice presidential debate on Wednesday, 7th of October, with the focus dominated by the Trump administration's COVID-19 response. What happened in the town halls? After the second presidential debate was cancelled, the two candidates appeared in separate live town halls that were broadcast at the same time. Mr. Trump dominated the headlines after he refused to denounce the Kinnan conspiracy theory, which falsely claims the U.S. government is controlled by a deep state cabal of anti-Trump Satanist pedophiles. He said, "So, I know nothing about Kinnan. I know very little. What I do hear about it, they are very strongly against pedophilia. I do agree with that." The president was questioned over his decision to retweet a false conspiracy theory from a Kinnan-linked Twitter account, suggesting that Navy SEALs killed a body double of Osama bin Laden, and that the Obama administration covered it up. Mr. Trump said he was just putting it out there and people can decide for themselves. Mr. Trump also denied that he was told in the Oval Office, by his national security advisor in January, that the coronavirus would be the biggest national security threat of his presidency. In Philadelphia, Mr. Biden said, "We're in a situation where we have 210,000 plus people dead, and what's he doing? Nothing. He's still not wearing masks." Mr. Biden put on his mask when leaving the stage to be closer to questioners. Trump approval static at around 40%. Donald Trump's presidential approval ratings are at steady levels, according to the Telegraph's poll tracker. The tracker, which takes an average of the last 8 polls, put Mr. Trump's approval rating at around 44%, while 54% disapprove of the way the president is doing his job. The president's approval ratings had recovered slightly recently, after experiencing a rally around the flag effect, with Americans backing the government to handle the coronavirus crisis. The period since Donald Trump's election has been packed with controversy and intrigue, but, underneath it all, few people seem to have really changed their minds about America's 45th president. Read more: what are key swing states, and why are they so important? His approval rating quickly slumped in the chaotic days after assuming office, with Trump achieving a majority disapproval rating in a record of just 8 days. 3 years in, he is far less popular than previous presidents at this stage of a presidency, but overall approval has generally remained above 40%. Still, with the president having defied political gravity 4 years ago, the jury's out as to whether he can do the same again against his new Democrat opponent.